to the show, everyone. I am so excited because we got a big holiday weekend coming up, and what I love about everybody else is to talk about everybody else than me on my show. And that's what I do, and everybody kind of laughs when I say that, but it's true. And I love the show because there's so much great information that people get, and I say that a lot. I know I do, but again, that's true also. My first guest has been on with me many times. I think it's over a year or so that you've been on my show, at least a couple of years now. I have with me Mike Salazar, and Mike is the owner of Pass Fire Protection. It just so happens as the 4th of July is coming up, and there's going to be fireworks, and there's going to be things that you just could get hot with, even your barbecue. Welcome to the show. You've got to tell everybody, because you know, every time you come on, I want everybody to tell a little bit about yourself. So tell them about you and what PASS stands for.
All right, Carol. Well, PASS stands for Pull, Aim, Squeeze, and Sweep. So it's an acronym to help people remember how to use a fire extinguisher. So we just kind of utilized that when we were naming the company, and just kind of worked out pretty good. Although people never associate that. Sometimes they're like, oh, you're just trying to make people pass, or you're just doing that. It's like, no, if you think about it, it's the acronym for actually using that fire extinguisher.
So PASS. So let's go through them. I know what it is because I've had you on many times. So it's pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep.
Yep.
I got it down.
That's it.
But here's the thing, most of the time people, we've talked about this so many times, and that's why one of the reasons why we picked today, because 4th of July is around the corner, you like to open up the lines of the audience for everyone to be able to get entered in to win a fire extinguisher.
Correct.
And so many people might even say, I have one. Well, you might have one, but it probably doesn't even work.
Well, you might have one, you might not even know where it's at. So many
That's
people
true,
I talk
too.
to, they're like, well, don't you have an extinguisher? They're like, yeah, I don't remember where I put it. Or maybe that's over there in the garage. It's like, well, over in the garage, or you know exactly in the garage where it's at. So yeah, it's important not only to have one, but to know where it's at and to know if it's working properly or not. Just like you said, this big weekend coming up, there's going to be fireworks, whether you're lighting them or somebody else. You know, inevitably people buy what they're not supposed to, so stuff could end up in your yard or, you know, on top of your roof. It doesn't matter. So you need to make sure that you are aware and can protect yourself a little bit from
Well,
that.
here's something else too. You say, okay, well, I have one. Well, really, honestly, you should have more than one.
Oh, correct, yeah, because you don't want to have to run, you know, all the way across your house or through the garage into the storage shed to grab it to use it. You want it to be pretty accessible.
Especially near a barbecue.
Yes.
And it happens to be that you might be thinking about barbecuing some things this week that coming up for the 4th of July.
Oh, absolutely.
And they can blow up. I actually know somebody that had that happen.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible thing that happened to him. And guess what? He didn't have a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, and he probably had that barbecue next to his house. You know, a lot of people, they don't move it away from their house. They keep it right next to a wall. And so when that thing does catch on fire from the grease or
Boom.
whatever happens, then it catches your house on fire. So yes, if you have an extinguisher, you can eliminate a lot of damage and a lot of off time, you know, and inconvenience, because you don't want to have to go live in a like a Airbnb or a hotel where they're renovating your house, because smoke damage does a lot of damage, because that smoke gets in the walls, it gets in the wood, it gets in the insulation. So it takes a lot to get that corrected. They have to remove all that stuff. Then they have to vent your house out. Then they have to start putting it back together. So it can be a long process.
And all you have to do is call in here and get yourself entered in to win a fire extinguisher, whether it's for your home or office, your boat, your car. This is the time. Everybody's going to be out on your boats. You even said it's good to have one. God forbid you see somebody having an issue, and let's say on the streets in a car. Guess what? You're there. You can help them. They would probably really appreciate that. So we're going to leave our number here open all throughout the rest of the show for everyone to call throughout the the time that we're on here. And our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Get yourself entered in to win a fire extinguisher. What a perfect time for you to be on to talking about this. Also, you help people. You help them understand how to use it. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we want to make sure people not only have them, but they know how to use them. And we could talk about pull, aim, squeeze, sweep, but until you actually physically pull that extinguisher pin and know how it works, or lift the extinguisher, sometimes it's a little bit heavier than you think it is, and you don't want to be shocked when you go to use it. So it's always good to just practice beforehand and have a really good idea of how it's gonna work, and then you can teach your kids or other people, but it's really something that's out of sight and out of mind, but then when you really need it, you wanna know how to use it.
Oh yeah, oh my God, because when you really need it, let me tell you, you're scared.
Yes.
So that's not the first thing you're thinking of, but if you had the acronym in your mind, you would know what to do. But also more than that, just knowing how to use it, but also how to aim, because that's also huge. I remember the first time when you're on and I asked you the question, well, do you just spray it?
Yeah.
You're like, no.
Yeah.
Explain that.
No, it's important, yes, because a lot of people will aim it at the fire, but if you're aiming an extinguisher that is charged with nitrogen, that propellant's gonna go past the fire. So you wanna aim at the base of the fire, because then it can hit and sweep over the fire and smother it. Or if it's a trash can, then obviously you're gonna aim inside the trash can. But if it's something like on a wall, you can aim towards that too. But if it's something that's crawling, like your propane is on the floor, spinning around, whatever, you're gonna wanna aim towards the bottom of the propane so it can hit it and overlap it. And you can save a lot of damage, you can save a lot of money if you can get that extinguisher to put that fire out instead of waiting for the fire department, because you still obviously want to call the fire department. You want them to get over there and make sure everything's going to be fine, and it's not going to continue burning after you're done. But if you can do something to help put it out, and like you mentioned, I'm sure everybody, if you lived here long enough, you've driven on the freeway and you've seen cars catching on fire, or semi trucks catching on fire. I mean, I've seen it every year. So yes, if you had that extinguisher, you can jump out and you can almost eliminate that. You might not save the entire car, but you'll at least be able to save, other people's lives.
Or somebody's life, but the fact is that you are prepared, and that is something that is so important. And here, a lot of people, I'm gonna say this too, if you're a real estate agent, what a great gift to give. I know it's something you never would think about.
Yes.
Right? But how about a bottle of wine and a fire extinguisher?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I mean, it's just something I think everybody should have. And the difference, this is the other thing I want to talk about. Your fire extinguishers, because a lot of people say, well, you know what, I can go get that, at Home Depot or whatever, right?
Yes.
Yours are different.
Yeah, ours are more commercial grade, so they're able to be recharged and maintenanced. If you do use it, you can fill it back up, and it's kind of like a lot less expensive in the long run than up front. Yeah, it might look cheap in the beginning, but if you have to throw it away, or you barely touch it, or it drops and something happens, you're going to keep replacing it. With us, you can just maintain them, so it's a lot better for the longevity of it.
We've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. It's a fire extinguisher. You should have at least a few of them in your home. You should have them in your office and outside as well. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. He is rated with the Better Business Bureau. You work statewide. You are
Correct.
always out there helping people with fires.
Yep.
Always. And you can check him out on his website. It's passfireprotection.com. You can also call him direct. Maybe you own a business, and we're going to talk about some of that when you come back on air here, because maybe you own a business and you want them to come in and have them kind of do I know you do consultations with them as well. So you can call him direct. His number is 602-833-9117. It's passfireprotection.com. Hang tight. We'll be back in just a minute. Keep on going. We're live in this room right now still.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, that's true. I forget about that.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about where they should have them. So cars, boats, offices, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah,
Am
because
I
the one in the
hitting on-
garage, they can take out to the barbecue when they go to barbecues.
Mhm.
They don't have to have it literally right there, because I know a lot of people don't like the way they look.
Right, which is
So that's always
right.
everything that we do is not aesthetically pleasing, so it gets overlooked a lot. But,
Right.
But yes, especially because if they're storing paints or solvents in their garage, they're going to want to have something in there. The kitchen, a lot of times, you're going to want something around close that you can get to quickly.
Right. But not only do you have it, but does it work? I'll be right there.
Yes, that's always the most important thing.
Does it work? That's the other thing that's really important. I know we're live for just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to see what he was doing. I thought he walked away, but he didn't. I was gonna be like, get back in there.
He's got two.
Mhm.
Every time I look at those, I think they're like buttons or panic buttons.
This
So when
is-
you get scared, you can just hit it. They come in
Yes.
and rush in and save you.
Oh, yeah. This is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one if I start coughing,
Oh, okay.
right? And I have had it happen.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, help me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know, one time I was really sick and I still did the show. I wasn't contagious, but you know how you get that cough that lingers and lingers and
Yeah.
oh, it was terrible.
Yeah. It's like a mute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
We're not on, you know, live on air right now, but when we are, that takes this one only
Oh, okay.
off, yeah. But if I wanna talk to him too, like sometimes I'll be like, get your butt over, you know,
Yeah. Oh, that's
that's
what you.
this to them.
I thought that was your kids button.
Hmm?
I thought that's a button for kids. It says talk back.
Ha 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 ha. That's for me to do that to him while we're even on, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause he can talk to me through here,
Oh,
right?
nice.
Yeah. So welcome back, everyone. I bet you didn't know that the acronym for PASS is pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. And this is something that everybody should know and should know how to use their fire extinguishers. This is a great week coming up that we're gonna all be outside using your barbecues all summer long also. But fireworks are gonna be used, so this is a
Yes.
perfect time for you to be on. And things happen. Bad things happen to good people. And you gotta be prepared. And knowing that they work, this is the biggest thing, because a lot of times people don't realize, and you've mentioned this how before, that a fire extinguisher, what's inside of it, gets hard and
Yes.
dries up, so they just don't realize that when they go to use it,
Yeah,
now
it
what
may not
happens?
work. Nothing's going to come out.
Wow.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Especially if they had it for a long time. So that's why you want to get them maintenance and serviced and inspected, so that you can verify that to the best of everybody's ability that it's going to work when you need it. You know, they always think about what we do today is going to help save somebody's life tomorrow. So it's like, don't put it off. Do something today. Look at it today. Pull it out. Find it. Dust it off.
Yeah.
You know, get it checked to make sure it's going to work.
And
then-
have one
know
that's
what's
really
out.
good quality.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's just different, their quality, and you will be able to refill it. This is something that
Yeah.
others can't. And it's, you know, it's special. So he's doing it as a giveaway. Okay, I'll get it out. A giveaway for everybody out there, as everyone's getting entered in to win a fire extinguisher, whether it's for you or someone that you know. I think it's a great gift to give to somebody, whether you're a realtor, whether you have somebody that's buying a home just in the house, you want to give them a home, housewarming gift. What a great gift to give to someone.
Oh, exactly. Or what about those car salesmen? You were talking about that.
Yeah.
I mean, we do see car fires.
Oh,
so if you
yeah,
can
look
give
at
an
Tesla,
extinguisher-
come on.
Yeah.
You can buy a nice car and it still can happen.
Yep. Well, and even with that, talking about that, now you really need to make sure you're protecting your garage, because when you start charging a lot of these lithium batteries, nobody's really familiar with them too much now. We're still going into a lot of experimental stuff, trying to figure out how to really protect ourselves from this, because it's new technology. So
Well,
anytime there's something new, you got to figure out what to do with it.
Right, look what happened to Jay Leno.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of cars.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and they're in his
Sure.
garage, and listen, things happen, and
Yep.
the thing is that you want to be prepared. That's what you're all about.
That's it. Just be prepared, because we don't know when it's going to happen, and so we can't wait and say, well, let's think right now, maybe at 2 o'clock, this is gonna happen, I'll be ready for it. You know, you
Right.
just gotta be ready because you never know when it's gonna happen.
You just never know. So we're going to let everyone call throughout the rest of the show, and maybe it's for you or someone that you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. Also, you can come you do both residential and commercial.
Yes, oh yeah, for sure, because, you know, honestly, a lot more stuff happens at the residence than it does in the commercial properties, because commercial, everybody is maintaining a lot of the stuff. It's mandated through fire departments and things like that, but they're not gonna mandate what you do at your house, so that's where we get lazy, that's where we start making our mistakes. And when I say lazy, it's like maybe we don't put stuff away the way we should. You know, in fact, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about how they had got a pizza, and they put a pizza box on the oven, and they must have hit the oven, they didn't even think about it, and then all of a sudden they're smelling all this smoke, and they're like, what's that smoke? And it was a pizza box that was catching on fire.
You
know
just
what I mean?
never know
So-
when you're going to do something, and it can happen to anybody, but you want to be prepared. And so he wants everyone to be prepared too. And we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win. It's a fire extinguisher, and this is a fire extinguisher that is going to be different than probably the one that you already have. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. The website is passfireprotection.com, and his phone number direct is 602-833-9117. So we were talking a little bit at the break, a little bit about where to put them. Well, you need one on your boat,
Yes.
right?
Oh yeah, when you're out there, because then where are you gonna go? You're gonna jump overboard and hope somebody comes.
Well,
to pick you
everyone
up?
thinks that's the best place to go, but then you
Yeah.
got sharks coming after you, so I don't know what's worse.
Yeah, hopefully you swim. You got your life vest on too. You know.
Right. Now, what about, you had mentioned that, you know, people don't like them aesthetically. This is something that's
Yes.
huge, because you said it's why they don't want them by the barbecue, but you put it in the garage and whatever.
Just
you
take
at
it
least
out
show
with
there.
you when you go to cook. That's what I do. I mean, I fry turkey every Thanksgiving, but the first thing after I put out the big fryer is I take an extinguisher and I put it out there. And I do have, you know, extinguishers by my grills because I don't want to have to walk back and forth. But if you don't like it and you don't want it to sit out there, you could, you know, have it in the garage and just move it out there when you cook, put it back.
Well, they do
That's
have
nothing.
things that you can put them in too, you know.
Yeah,
you
you-
can,
that's it.
but at least you know where it is. It's close by, because boy, oh boy, when those things go,
Yes.
that's big.
Exactly. I'd rather, you know, use my $30-$40 fire extinguisher than have that damage done to my house or my grill or
My face.
yeah, your face, you get burned, your kids, dogs,
Exactly,
whatever.
yeah. Now, also, obviously, kitchen, we know that for sure,
Yeah.
Offices, but you mentioned in the garage, a lot of people store paint,
Yes.
right? And
Oh.
here it's so hot.
And lacquer or, you know, varnishes, and then they use those rags and they'll throw those in the garage, or they'll throw them in their trash can, and then you can have spontaneous combustion, which can create a fire. I had a friend that was redoing all of his wood floors, and that's what happened to him. He put all his rags in a bucket, threw them in his garage, so he could go to bed at night. Then he started smelling smoke, and the next thing you know, it caught on fire. you
Yeah,
so-
I know somebody whose house totally burnt down because there was a fire in the garage.
Yeah.
They didn't obviously have any fire extinguisher or anything like that. And I'm sure it was just a terrible thing that maybe they were upstairs or what have you, but fires start very easily.
Yep.
Especially, I think, here in Arizona because of the heat. And look
Yeah.
at how hot it is right now.
Exactly. Another place is the lint traps for your dryers. A lot of people forget to clean those out or double check. You know, we don't have a lot of chimneys where you're supposed to clean your chimney, but if you think about the lint traps on your dryers, it's the same thing. It's basically there's a chimney that goes outside, but if it starts collecting with all this lint's very flammable, it's hot, you know, there's a lot of house fires that start from the dryers.
Right. And so he wants everybody to be protected and to be prepared. So we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win a fire extinguisher. Yeah, you know, it's not a bottle of wine,
Yeah.
but I bet you anything, you're gonna love that you have it. You're gonna love that he's gonna show you how to use it. And you're gonna love that you're gonna be prepared. And, you know, the main thing is to how to pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. When you pull, how easy is it to pull those things?
Well, when you pull, you're pulling the pin out of it, and the pin's there to make sure that the extinguisher doesn't discharge accidentally, so you have to remove that pin so that you can squeeze the handle. But that's where a lot of people go wrong, is that when they're holding the extinguisher, they're already squeezing the handle, so they can't pull that pull pin out, so then they're panicking. Maybe they bent it, and now when it's bent, it's gonna be hard to move too. So the first step is pull that pull pin. So you want to learn how to hold the extinguisher so you can pull that pull pin out, because once that's out, then you can aim it, squeeze, and then sweep. You know, you're gonna be able to use it. But if you can't get that pull pin out, it's gonna be very challenging to be able to use it.
So it's not only just about, you know, obviously having one, it's also how to use it properly.
Yes.
And we also talked a little bit about how old, I'm sure, you know, most people's are like, what, 20 years old, they've had them forever.
Oh yeah, you know, especially the longer you've lived in a house, the more stuff we accumulate, because I've been there, you know, you start putting stuff in your attic or places in your garage, and you don't really know where stuff's at until you have to move or something's going on, and you start going through, it's like, oh, this is where it's at. But we start stuffing things away, you know, because it's not aesthetically pleasing. You're not gonna put it right there, right next
Right.
to the door, so you can see it every time. You probably put it on a shelf, or you probably put it somewhere that you just like, oh, here's a great spot, and then it starts getting covered with all the other boxes and stuff.
For, let's say somebody has a fire extinguisher that they've had X amount of years.
Yes.
Like after how many years has it really had us done?
Well, we need to maintain them every 6 years. So according to the codes that we go by, you know, if it's older than 1983, 84, 85, you're going to get rid of them for sure. So they have a pretty longevity there as long as you're maintaining it. But if it's been out of sight, out of mind for over 6 years, you're going to want to have it looked at.
I'm sorry, but you're talking about yours. Yours are different. And let me tell you, if you bought one that was just at some, whatever, box store or wherever, you're gonna want this one because it is special, it is different. Tell them what makes it different again.
Well, because we can service them. It's not something that's going to be used and have to be thrown away. It's something that can be reused over and over and over every time you maintain those things.
And you have Mike to help you, show you how to use
Yeah,
it properly.
Exactly.
And so you could either call him direct at 602-833-9117. You call in here, get yourself entered in to win a fire extinguisher. This is the week to be having one for sure, beside you know, because of the holiday and it's fireworks and all that kind of stuff, and being by the barbecue, being on your boat. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, we're trying to figure out how long we've been here, and I'm looking at the original email that I sent you, and it was in 2019.
Wow. I love it. Thank you for being here so long. Call in here, get entered in to win. Our number here is 602-277-5369. You're going to love it that you did.
Yep.